morning. Here after my short intermission, but welcome to Neavako versus AgentKree. Seeing two aim beasts fated off in the head-to-head. Neavako and AgentKree are both very capable aim players. AgentKree more of a DT and HR player. Neavako, one of those players who's crippled past AR10, but is very strong on aim maps below that. In fact, he's pretty recently set his new top play, 640 PP. I believe AgentKree did first pick no mod 1. I don't know, what did he ban? No, banning no mod 5, banning 2. Neavako striking out 10.3 makes sense. I mean, AgentKree can actually just play the AR. Neavako kinda just can't. And number 5 for AgentKree makes sense. I mean, he's not much of a reading fan. And yeah, first picking no mod 1. I believe in him. I asked him if he'd be willing to play, because, you know, we always need as many players as we can get for ONZO. So the fact that he's playing... Thank you, AgentKree. No mod 1, Send in Life. The classic, timeless Send in Life. Both these players should be capable of seeing this map. It's going to come down to tourney nerves. Now, I believe both these players actually do get kind of handicapped pretty hard by how nervous they get in tourney. So we'll have to see how they perform here. On paper, this could be like SS v SS. It really just comes down to consistency and nerves at this SR for these players. I mean, really slight act drop for both doesn't really matter too much so far. Still need confirmation these players are capable of getting through their nerves on something like this. But both players coming out of the intro relatively unscathed. To the first Ki. Neither player's dropped on that first slightly more spaced jump. AgentKree finding a slight miss aim. He didn't even misread the pattern, it's just an unlucky miss. Now Neavako has this extra combo he's built up with. He sees AgentKree's found that missed, but AgentKree is very capable on this map. We're seeing it in his aim. Neavako kind of just has to hold his nerve here and not miss. You know, AgentKree, he can build up a recovery. He can definitely make this a comeback. But the further Neavako goes with this combo, the better it gets for him. If he manages to get past this halfway mark with his combo, I mean, he'll be in a really good spot then, because AgentKree will just have to FC the rest of the map. And if you know anything about Neavako, you know he's impeccable on this kind of aim. He looks so good. So does AgentKree for that matter, but he finds another 2 misses back to back. Slight miss aims again. Now, finalist, I think Neavako's done more than enough. I mean, showing off his no mod aim chops here. Defeating his nerves, hopefully. We'll see if he can close out the score. Because he's definitely won the map. But I mean, you're kind of seeing AgentKree's mechanics here shine a bit already. context, this is by no means like a super terrible performance. I think we've seen lower scores than his for sure. It's just a matter of being consistent and not getting affected by nerves while you play. Which we're seeing from Neavako. He's dropped a 1/100 this entire map. Get to the ending, which is definitely the hardest part of the map. The jumps just never seem to end. AgentKree catches one last miss on them. Neavako does finally break. But AgentKree, I think, just a bit less consistent than Neavako on the aim, and it kind of shined there. But not a bad pick by any means. AgentKree did look really comfortable on that map. It's just, you're facing Neavako, and, you know, he's just so good at this kind of maps. These kind of maps. Finally finds the break just on the halfway mark, but man, this guy's just impeccable. He could be looking to drop the best score so far on this hidden one. I don't think anyone's really coming close to competing except short of a total collapse. Does miss-snap that square, but he's already done more than enough. to the ending. Neavako's built up another 200 combo. Starting to drop more act, I think. Part of that is just nervous. It's much easier to overtap in a 20 setting when you're afraid of missing on that kind of stuff. Neavako dropping a really, really solid performance on this map. I mean, it's definitely probably the hardest map in this pool, in my opinion. And he's dropping a nasty 500k. Not bad at all. But now it's AgentKree's pick. Will he opt for one of the DTs, or will he maybe go for a hard rock mechanics map in HR2? Really depends what he feels like here. DT free. AgentKree hoping to RNG it. DT free is kind of a speed check. It's got those 250 BPM bursts. The AR I think is low enough for Neavako. He'll be able to play it. I don't know how well he will necessarily do on it. AgentKree is definitely more of a DT player than Neavako, but we'll have to see if that shows through or not. Neavako doesn't have the map. My NZ players would never sight read in 20, what the hell, man? And okay, Neavako is kind of eating rocks. In this intro, he is down to 70% AC already. AgentKree did actually miss first. But, I mean, the amount of rocks Neavako has eaten of his first tapping patterns is kind of set him really far back. And, I mean, Neavako does not look comfortable on this tapping. AgentKree definitely showing some signs that he's not comfortable, but he's actually managing to get through it. It's just Neavako not breaking that's keeping him in it. The minute he misses, that score lead is going to balloon in favor of AgentKree. They just have to hold it together. AgentKree just needs to hold his nerve. Neavako needs to keep combo gaming like his life depends on it. To get back into these quints, AgentKree misses. Neavako trades it though. The score is neck and neck still, despite Neavako's horrific accuracy. AgentKree is just getting combo gamed. The score lead's flipped over to his side, but looks like, yeah, AgentKree gets her point. It was probably unfairly close. Neavako's accuracy a whole 10% lower. The fact that it was this close, kind of an indictment of score v2. But now it's Neavako's pick. AgentKree's on the board. I think Neavako might just run hidden 2, to be honest. Keep that hidden skill set abuse going. Neavako doesn't know any other maps in the pool. This freaking chud. DT1, okay. That is kind of nails. I feel like DT1's an AgentKree map. Like, AgentKree needs to pick into maps like this where he's definitely capable of playing, instead of maps like Hidden 2, where I feel like Neavako just skill set abuses. This might be a window for a breakpoint. Get 2v spinner. AgentKree finding a very early miss. Maybe a tactical miss, you know? Dropping on the intro pad. And this time Neavako looks a lot more comfortable. AgentKree dropped a lot back on that intro. The combo is still quite close, which is probably the more important factor on a map like this. But he does find another miss. Yeah, struggling to string together a combo. Neavako doing just fine. I don't even think it's like a mechanical issue from AgentKree. Maybe he's slightly not used to maps like this, but I mean, I think he's just a bit nervous. Neavako does miss, so there is a window. I think we're going to need to see more misses from him. And we're starting to see them. AgentKree does find that miss on the slowdown and then completely flubs that pattern. Yeah, this is looking like Neavako's point. AgentKree kind of just flubbing some of the, I would say, easier patterns in my opinion. I think combination of nerves and just not being super well versed on maps like this probably biting him here. I mean, Neavako's finding more breaks. Like, you can definitely see AgentKree could have probably won this pick on a different day. But that's another point for Neavako. And yeah, look at the miscounts and combos. It's so similar. It's just Neavako held slightly longer and just played it slightly better. But AgentKree definitely had an angle. Now, AgentKree's pick, does he go for one of our hard rocks? I mean, he doesn't have his comfort hidden for them, which might make a difference. But I feel like Hard Rock 2 might be the play for him here. And yeah, Hard Rock 2 is the map. Kind of a nails pick for both of these players. I mean, they're both kind of hard rock aimed demons. I'm pretty sure both of them have like multiple 500s of hard rock aim. In a map like this, much harder when you're nervous. Of course, any sort of precision will be. Just 180 BPM AR10, CS 6.5 aim. None of the patterns should be too uncomfortable. There are a few spikes in this map where we get some decent sized jumps. They're not crazy long, and there is also the nice little square pattern. The square pattern, it's probably hard with nerves, but it's pretty comfortable overall. As both players get into it. AgentKree is tapping a little bit early, but Neavako actually does break first. That's the thing, AgentKree is one of those players who wants hidden with his hard rocks and DTs to read them more comfortably. We'll have to see whether he can recover the ACK as he eases himself into this map. Because Neavako is kind of finding some uncharacteristic breaks, I feel. AgentKree actually individually aiming all of those notes. My goat. Even when he doesn't have to, he's aiming these 1-2s. What a beast. And the ACK's starting to even out. But Neavako is still hard on his heels, and the ACK on the intro is the only thing keeping him in it. If Neavako just needs to continue to hold strong, because AgentKree finds the break. And now Neavako's building higher and higher, hitting the squares just fine. Yeah, with that break from AgentKree, I think this point at the start was looking pretty good for AgentKree, just his accuracy being the major thing holding him back, but Neavako managed to ease himself into the map, and despite the uncharacteristic first half, he's managed to claw up about 650k. In fact, 700k, damn, that score went up fast on the ending. But AgentKree definitely did not look uncomfortable on that map either, aim-wise especially. And with that, it is match point for Neavako. And he also has his pick of the litter for what maps to go with. I feel like there are a lot of done and dusted maps he can choose, if he so wants. We'll have to wait and see what he opts for though. Seeing no mod free from Neavako. And I mean, just based off the AR, I feel like AgentKree is not going to have a good time. Kind of picking the longest map to do it on. AR9, CS 5.2, 140 float. Oh, there are some snap patterns in this map that have caught a few people off, but I feel like the big selling point are the spaced flow ult patterns in this map. AgentKree I don't think is well versed on ult. If this was snap ult, I feel like he'd actually be able to do surprisingly well. But I mean, AR9, you can already see it's kind of just not his thing. So we'll have to see if Neavako can just get a really crazy score, I think. So yeah, you're seeing the consistent over-tapping. Usually a hallmark of not being comfortable on a map like this. Into the PI. I mean, Neavako is actually starting to build up the combo that we don't really see on this map. A lot of people have actually struggled quite hard. Neavako finally finds the break. But he's actually looking to put up a really good score on this map relative to all the other scores we've seen. AgentKree not having the best time, I think just for AR. Continues to climb up the combo tree yet again. 300 and climbing. All eyes on how big of a score he can get if he can get number 1 on this map. Because we still have the boatload of Monday matches. Neavako finally finds a break. He nearly got up to 700 combo there. Showing a decent amount of comfort on this map, despite having never played it before. The new and improved Neavako of 2026. I feel like a year or two ago, Neavako probably would have actually struggled a little bit with this map. But now, I mean, he's doing it quite chill. Yeah, it's gonna close out the match for Neavako. A nice, comfortable win, although some maps, DT1 and HR2, were actually pretty competitive. There's definitely a window for AgentKree on those maps. But Neavako securing a free miss, 500k, which I think is the best score I've seen on this map so far. A comfortable victory for Neavako, but a decent showing from AgentKree as someone who doesn't really play tourneys at all. I mean, he only played because I asked him to. He didn't have to. Especially on that DT3, showing his chops. But yeah, that is the last match tonight. Stay tuned for the 5 Monday matches. Hooray! We love matches on Mondays. Should have some bangers in there, like Basilisk 666 versus Kermit Nuggies. That might be kind of nails. also have Rumi versus Snowblue Chub, One Shot Fox versus Oppen Boy, and Rail versus Ayachi. Those matches all have some like 4-digit v 4-digit potential there. And then Meteor versus Mr. Tanjiro Sword. You might get to see the first ever NZ touchscreen player in tourney. But yeah, that's it for tonight. So thank you to the players for playing. We'll see you all tomorrow, maybe.